Here is the worst feeling ever. You book that vacation, you're super excited, you're getting ready to have fun on the trip. You see all of these ads pop up from either the cruise line or the resort that you're going to. They show you videos of people eating the food, having fun, the chef whipping up the perfect meal, and then you get there and it is the worst food you've ever had in your life. That was my experience on the MSC Seashore and how much I absolutely hated the food. Let's get right to it. Hey everyone, my name is Cam, and if you are new here, welcome to my channel where I tell it like it is, just real firsthand travel experiences. Today's topic is how much I did not like the food on the MSC Seashore. Now, to give you a little bit of a background about myself, I've been cruising and traveling for about 12 years now. I've done it all. I've been on the Norwegian ships, I've been on Royal Caribbean, I've been on Celebrity, Carnival, Virgin Voyages, you name it, I've probably been on it. And this was absolutely the worst food experience I've ever had traveling or even on a cruise line. Now, a lot of you probably might be thinking that I'm just being really picky or I'm being over dramatic, and I thought the same to myself before I started shooting this video. I was thinking maybe I am being a little bit over dramatic, and then I started talking to my wife and I just remembered absolutely how bad the food was. Now, just to give you a little bit more information, we did book a 3-night itinerary, again on the MSC Seashore. This was leaving out of Port Canaveral and it was going to Nassau, Bahamas and Ocean Key Marine Reserve, Bahamas. If you don't know, Ocean Key is MSC's private island destination. Now, before we get into even more about why the food sucked, let me just say something positive about MSC. Ocean Key Marine Reserve is one of the best private cruise destinations. So if MSC is doing anything right, I will definitely give 2 thumbs up to the MSC Ocean Key Marine Reserve private island. I'll do a video on that here very soon, so please don't be afraid to click that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. I will do a video here soon about how much I love that private island destination. For those that have never been on a cruise before, let me explain to you this here real quick. Food is free in 2 areas on board every major cruise line. Okay, first you have the buffet, and then second you have the main dining room. Let's start with the buffet. The buffet was terrible most days. It was absolutely just not good. I kept seeing reviews online about the pizza and how the pizza was the greatest thing ever. And funny enough, this is a Italian cruise line. MSC is an Italian-based company. And I felt like the pizza was absolutely the worst pizza I ever had on board. Shout out Virgin Voyages. I think they have the best pizza on board, followed by Royal Caribbean. I think that they have the second best pizza on board. I did not like MSC's pizza. It just was a fluffed up bread with some tomato sauce, non-seasoned tomato sauce just on top, and barely any taste of cheese. It really just tasted like a piece of bread that was cooked with some tomato sauce. It was not that great if you ask me. A lot of the pastas tasted like it came out of a can. Now the pasta itself tasted fresh, but the sauces tasted very metallic. Assuming this is a buffet, they're probably not whipping up, fresh sauce at the buffet. It tasted like it came out of a can. It didn't even taste like anything. I wasn't expecting them to actually sit there and whip up the sauce. And it did actually look like they had stations where they could do that. The sauce tasted absolutely horrible. I would not recommend any of the pastas. My wife ended up getting the Alfredo. I took a couple of bites of that. I very quickly chased it down with some water. It did not taste good at all. Now, I do want to give 1 plus to the buffet. There were days where they would have roasted chicken with saffron rice. That was absolutely amazing. The problem with that is that the days that they put it out was really unknown. So sometimes we would go to the buffet and they would have it, and sometimes they wouldn't. So there were times where I was eating things that I really didn't like. A lot of the food just tasted really bland, unseasoned, unless it was, again, that roasted chicken with saffron rice. Now, here's another thing. When you travel, you expect your experience to be fun. You expect your experience to have good service behind it. And also what doesn't help MSC's food is the fact that the service at the buffet was not great. I remember two experiences. The first being that the first day we were there, we saw two of the workers arguing, and they were threatening each other, telling each other that they were gonna call their boss, their manager, whoever it was. And funny enough, I just kind of looked at my wife and said, let's go somewhere else. It looked like it was not headed towards a good situation. So we definitely walked away from that. So that didn't help us feel good during this experience. You know, the food was already not the best, and then experiencing that was just not fun. The second is the absolute chaos when it comes to MSC, at least in the food areas. If you guys don't know, MSC, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, a lot of these mega cruise lines where they have 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 passengers on board, there's a lot of people there. There's a lot of people that are hungry. So not only was the food not good, we were waiting in lines of 20, 30, 40, 50 people, and it just felt chaotic almost every time we were in the buffet. It was absolutely horrifying sometimes walking through the buffet. It was shoulder to shoulder, just constantly bumping into people, waiting in long lines. A lot of the times the kids were, you know, very impatient, so to speak, and we would have to put them down, and I would tell my wife, hey, you sit with the kids, just keep them occupied. I'll go wait in line, wait for this terrible food, bring back the terrible food to the table, put it down, go back in line. And a lot of times being at the buffet, just because of the wait times and being in line, you know, we would be at the buffet a lot of times, you know, 50 minutes, an hour and a half. And buffets are meant to be there quick, grab your food, go sit down, eat, enjoy the rest of your day. And with MSC, it just wasn't quite that. I will be doing a follow-up video on the chaos that we dealt with on board. There was a lot of places where we felt like was overloaded. There was a lot of places where we felt like was very crowded. Now, don't get me wrong, MSC I think is a great cruise line, especially for the price. I think they have a lot going for them that can really challenge the cruise market. There's a lot of people that don't want to go with Carnival or Royal Caribbean, one, due to price with Royal Caribbean, and two, with Carnival, they don't want to deal with the fun ship. They don't want that upbeat, constant party type atmosphere. And I really feel like MSC has their own path that they're going to carve in the cruise industry if they already haven't done that. So I will do a follow-up video on that, so stay tuned for it. Let's move on to the dining room. So the dining room is the second place where you can eat for free on board. And in the dining room, the service was definitely much better. The waiters and waitresses, they were on top of a lot of things. I felt like the service was really good. However, the food still disappointed us very, very, very much. The first night I ordered a meatball for appetizers as well as salad and soup. Now, let's get the soup out the way. The soup just tasted like blended vegetables mixed with some broth, no seasoning at all, no cream at all, no anything to really get that flavor going. I don't recommend soups on MSC. I don't recommend pizza. I don't recommend soups, pizza, and pasta on the Italian cruise line, as ironic as it sounds. It's just not good. The meatball was a rounded up ball of ground beef with no seasoning at all, maybe half a teaspoon of sauce, if you want to call it sauce. It was just very frustrating, very bland. I just felt like I was eating cooked ground beef with nothing to it. At that point, I wish there was beef jerky, because I felt like beef jerky would have just tasted better than that. But then again, I probably wouldn't trust MSC with beef jerky either. The worst of all was the steak. I ordered the steak. I'm a big steak guy. I love steak. And to be fair, the sides that came with the steak did taste good. The vegetables tasted pretty good. I just added a little bit of pepper and salt on top of it, and it tasted pretty fine. The mashed potatoes, ironically enough, tasted pretty good. It didn't taste fresh, but it tasted good at least. And on MSC, I just felt like that was a win. If it tasted good and it was edible, you know, cool, we'll go from there. Now the steak, the marinade that they put on the steak tasted really good. So I was very hopeful when I received my plate. I was very hopeful, you know, thinking to myself, okay, this is gonna at least be a great dinner. Once I cut into that steak, it was an absolute nightmare. The steak was overcooked. It was cooked like all the way through. If there was something that is past well done, that is what that steak was cooked at. It was congratulations at that point. I mean, that steak was overcooked. I was chewing for minutes on end on each bite. And that ruined the experience overall. You know, I did want to tell the guy, hey, can I get a new piece of steak? But honestly, looking at everybody looked tired. They wanted the night to end. So I wanted the night to end too. I just kind of sucked it up, ate the rest of the steak, called it a day. My wife ordered the salmon, and if you know anything about my wife loves salmon. She eats salmon maybe 4 or 5 times a week. She eats a lot of salmon. And this salmon was terrible. She hated it. She did not like it at all. I looked at her and she said, oh, it's okay. And if you know anything about my wife, when she says it's okay, that means she wasn't enjoying it. Again, common theme, there was no seasoning. It was overcooked. It just didn't taste good overall. Overall, dining room first night, I don't recommend it. I will let this picture speak for itself. This was actually my mom's plate. My mom ordered the chicken. It looked terrible. My mom was not enjoying it. God bless her soul. She was not enjoying it at all. She immediately saw this plate and said, this is a no-go for me. She tried to eat it just like myself, you know, just to get through the night. She took a couple bites, put it to the side, and we moved on with our day. Now, the second night, we decided to go back to the dining room. My sister really wanted to go back. She said it was Italian night. Now, she had already cruised on MSC before I was on board, ironically enough. And she said, look, the Italian nights are actually worth it in the dining room. So night 2, we made our way over to the dining room. It's Italian night. I'm not excited. My hopes are all the way down. My hopes are not high at all. And the second night, during Italian night, the food was actually better. I ordered the chicken parmesan. I was not going to touch any of the beef plates because I did not trust MSC with beef plates at that point. And the chicken parmesan was good. Nothing amazing, nothing terrible in regards to my plate. I really enjoyed it. And it seemed like everybody else really enjoyed their plates. My brother-in-law had the lasagna. I remember looking over at him and him saying, wow, it was a real improvement over the night before. So I know I did say earlier, I don't recommend the pastas and things like that. I don't recommend that in the quick serve buffet section. I do recommend the Italian night in the dining room. So overall, a good experience, not a great experience, but it was good enough. Here is where our experience in the dining room really took off. We were sitting there eating. Out of nowhere, music hit the speakers. We all picked up our napkins. We started twirling them around, and the workers in the restaurant got into a conga line, and we started going around the whole restaurant in a conga line. And that was some of the most fun I ever had dining on any cruise ship. A lot of times cruise ships, they like to entertain while you're eating. So just a heads up, if you're new to cruising, there are cruise lines where they will add some type of entertainment while you're eating. Virgin Voyages being one that comes to mind. Royal Caribbean in the dining room as well. And MSC now, and they did the conga line. And this was the most fun we ever had. We even stood there at one point and the workers were coming in and out, just dancing in a line, dancing with each other. And the head guy of the restaurant even had his own little performance. And we were cheering him on. We were having a blast. That was so much fun. So Italian night in the dining room, definitely a must go to. The food is good, not great, good, but the entertainment is awesome. So overall, I would definitely recommend, you know, going to Italian night in the dining room. Now, when it comes to specialty dining is supposed to elevate your experience. For those that don't know, specialty dining does come with a charge. Unless you have some type of dining package with the cruise line or whatever the case may be, if you decide to do specialty dining, it does come with a charge. We did a 3-night itinerary, as I said before. And with the experience that we had before with the food, I was not looking forward to doing any type of specialty dining. I just didn't feel like paying extra money would have got me a better experience. Now, comment down below if you've been on MSC and done any type of specialty dining. I haven't, so maybe you know something that I don't. I just was not looking forward to doing any type of extra payments for food that just doesn't seem like it's worth it. Now, if you're thinking that I'm over exaggerating, hey, that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I think a lot of people would agree with me though that your food experience, your dining experience on board any type of vacation really makes or breaks the deal when it comes to how much fun you had. It's a part of the experience. Like I said before, I've been on a lot of cruise lines and I don't expect MSC to really have phenomenal food, but I expected it to be at least good with everything that they advertise, them being an Italian cruise line. Italy's some of the, I've had some of the best food I've ever had in my life in Italy. So I really expected something at least decent out of this, and most of the time it just wasn't. It was really probably the worst food I ever had on a cruise ship, and probably the worst food that I had vacationing, period. So hopefully MSC can really pick this up and get better as time goes on. This was on the MSC Seashore, so hopefully, maybe sometime next year or the year after, we will go on the MSC World America. We are looking into booking that cruise, and hopefully maybe the food is better on that ship. We'll have to find out. I think MSC has a lot of great things going for them. Don't take this as a video as me just trashing MSC all the way through. I just think their food is terrible. But overall, I thought MSC is a great cruise line. It's a great cruise line for the money. They have a lot of new ships that are coming out that are really on the luxury end. They're not considered luxury ships, but as you walk through them, they feel luxurious. The service is getting better. As we were going through the cruise, we realized that the service was just getting better and better as time went on, other than the mishap that happened at the buffet. And I really think MSC is here to stay. They offer a lot of amazing itineraries. Ocean Key Marine Reserve is an awesome place to go to. So MSC, a lot of good things, a lot of negative things as well. And I'm not gonna hold back and lie about the negative things. I do think that affects the experience overall. Tell me your experience with MSC. I wanna hear what you guys have to say about the cruise line. Again, I thought there were some really good things. I thought there were some really negative things. Also, guys, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that ring notification so anytime I release a video, you can see it. I would greatly appreciate it. That would help me out so much. Thank you, guys. See you soon.